The holy grail for all organisations these days is to reach Evergreen IT. That means technology that is always up to date, always current, always has the latest versions.
Juriba helps customers in many ways. A good example might be one of our big banking customers. So we had in that environment about 50,000 machines that we were migrating from one operating system to the next. As part of that migration, we had to manage roughly about 6,000 to 8,000 applications from the old operating system to the new one. Now, the reality was that whilst they had 6,000 to 8,000 applications, they didn't actually need or were using that 6,000 to 8,000 applications. So by using our Juriba Dashworks platform, we were able to help them rationalise those applications by roughly about 50%. Because a lot of users were telling us they didn't need those applications anymore through the self-service, and we were able to use the data that we'd aggregated to understand which applications they needed. So consequently, we were able to give them a much better licensing position. We were able to reduce the amount of work involved in managing the transformation, and we were also able then to create a much cleaner environment for managing change in the future.
One of our goals at Juriba is to really improve organisations by the use of automation. So automation is really much more reliable than a person sitting there and tapping keys and making changes manually. Instead, what you can do if you understand your workflows is to map these out in a repeatable way. So actually you don't have to do the same thing over and over again. And this is really good at the organisational level because actually what you're getting is a repeatable, reliable result. But it's actually really good for employees as well because they don't like doing the same thing over and over again. So you can really use automation to have positive change on all levels of the organisation.
Digitalisation for clients has been happening really over the past 8 or 9 years in our space. So previously, back in my old role, we used to do an awful lot in spreadsheets, and spreadsheets are very flexible and you can use them for everything, but you can't collaborate using spreadsheets. It's very difficult.
Juriba has the best-in-class product for managing Evergreen IT, and we also have a huge amount of expertise in this area, personally through our careers of working in very large organisations who have this problem of ongoing change and digital transformation. But also we've worked with a huge number of other companies. Every company is very different, they all have different challenges, but Juriba has successfully helped them to be able to get their Evergreen IT under control and to be able to manage their digital transformations effectively. So in Dashworks we have two distinct parts. The first one is a data warehouse that brings in information from all over your environment. So information about your devices, your users, your applications and all of the relationships between them. Also mailbox information and other systems too. And once you have that information, it can be really enlightening. Most people, when we show them that information, they don't really realise what they've got out there and they're absolutely fascinated by it. It's the first time that they've really seen all of that information in one place. But once you've got that information, it's really useful to be able to action that to affect a project. So kind of projects that we go through with customers are Windows 7 to Windows 10 migrations on the operating system. Windows 10 is now being released with updates every 6 months, 12 months, and those have to be rolled out too. So there is this constant iterative change that's happening in the environment. Also updates to applications, updates to systems, updates to Active Directory. There's just a huge number of things that can happen, and all of these projects need to run simultaneously because it's not just a matter of you do one project, everyone changes and then it's over. The stream of change is constant and relentless. So Dashworks allows you to map that process out for each individual project, each individual change across your entire environment. So you map out one process or a series of different processes, and then each of one of your assets is tracked through that process. Dashworks can send out emails to notify you of upcoming changes, ask you to go into a self-service system to perhaps schedule your change or confirm what assets you have, what applications you need. And actually as part of that process of having a well-managed IT environment and going through those digital transformation processes allows you to cut out a huge amount of waste from your environment. So actually what it really does when you have this data is help you to identify what you need and what you don't need.